So if the
Oh, no, I'm just. Okay, I'll read it only if you have to in the news yourself.
Make sure your phones are on off or on in the first row for 8 people. Well. If you have family members or from jail, cannot communicate, don't shake their recording.
Kind of brighten your day.
is 9 o'clock. And they're telling me tomorrow is the start of spring, but right now it's 49 degrees. So is it going to automatically be spring weather tomorrow? It is Texas, that could happen. Well, I hope everyone had a nice spring break. Everyone should be well rested. So what happened with the trial? Was it a mistrial?
Yes.
Okay. And all went well with my mom, so I'm excited and happy. But I spent a lot of time with my niece, so I know all the lines in Tad the Explorer 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, let me know that you are here. If you don't answer for the docket, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. And please stand when I call your name. Christopher Givens. Christopher. Okay. Roseanne Garcia is in custody. Jason Brown.
Yeah, she's present. I'd like to approach that.
Thank you. Robert Petty is in custody. David Robinson. In custody, we have Luis Puente, Danny Acosta, Ernesto Ayala, Kathy Magallanes. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday to me, sort of like, even though it's not my birthday. The double L's always confuse me. In custody, we have Joshua Clark, Jessica Johnson. Kayla Rutan is in custody. Juan Garcia Sanchez. Rudolph Montoya. Thank you. Wardell Lemon. Thank you. Isaiah Verjou. In custody, we have Wendy Rathbone, Deshandra McAfee. Robert Dale Hintnick.
Council President, Your Honor, you said he was downstairs a minute ago, so hopefully he's about to walk.
All right. Nathan Martinez is in custody. Jason Brown.
Same defendant.
All right, thank you. In custody is Nathan Martinez, Jason Hickman, Joseph Harris.
There you go.
Thank you. Sean Chrisman is in custody. Oscar Lopez. Thank you. Utambasi Equiri, custody. Lindsay Pierce. Michael Kilgore is in custody. Zaragoza Tobar, custody. Corbin Patswan.
President Judge, he sent me a text that he's walking up the stairs. I'll inform the court as soon as he walks in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mariah Lopez, custody, Gabriel Hinojosa. Thank you. And custody is Andy Maldonado, Richard Ruiz, Veronica Alvarez, Derek Hernandez. Blas Casimiro. Blas Casimiro. Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia. Luis Silva. William McGuffey. William McGuffey. David Zavalas in custody. David Robinson. David Robinson. In custody is Clark Warren. I didn't want to try that name again because I'll probably mispronounce it the second time around. Austin Young. Thank you. Mark Rocha. Elizabeth Gaskin. Those may be people who are supposed to be here at 11. Francisco Reyes. Thank you. Steve Terrazas. Steve Terrazas. Vaughn Skirvin. Thank you. Caleb Coleman Lee is doesn't have to be present. All right. Anyone who's present and your name was not called or you came in late? All right. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you. All right. So you came in late, Mr. Hickman?
Standing in line down in security.
Front row. What's your name? Juan Garcia, front row. Sir, what's your name? All right, front row. All right, sir, what's your name in the pink shirt?
Gonzalez Derek.
Eric Gonzalez, is he on the docket? All right, what's your SID number or case number? Do you know? I'm sorry, 802 953. Just have a seat. We'll look you up. Okay. All right, everyone. These are the rules of the court. One, there's still flu, allergies, whatever is going around. So I like to keep the center of the courtroom as least congested as possible. So the way we do it, you see those boxes on the side, just pull your file, place that file on the prosecutor's table, have a seat. They will call you when they're ready to confer. On this side is criminal trial division. On this side is family violence. If you have someone who's in custody, you need to have that person called out because I like for them to know what's going on with their case as far as what the court is doing with their case. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with the state and have not conferred with your client. Do not approach the coordinator for a reset, for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. So it does you no good to go to her and say, hey, can I come back on a different date? Because I'm the only person who can do that. Now, we were off for spring break. I always like to give the staff a break so they can, spend time with their children on the spring break while children still want to spend time with them. So everyone should be well rested. Everyone should have patience. But if you don't, pull it out as needed from your pockets. I always say, the gentleman, you have more pockets than the females because I know you have a hidden pocket on the inside of your suit. Still trying to figure out how that was designed and what the reasoning is behind that. Because who knows, I may be on a trivia show. So everyone, today is Monday. It's a day of new beginnings. Let's be nice and kind to each other. And everyone, please confer. And sir, you just walked in. What's your name? All right, so make sure you stay on the front row, but you're going to need to be on this side. All right, just have them put on the front row.
Jason Brown.
Diana, I answered all my emails over the weekend and I still have more emails. Hi, Jason. Hi.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here. So how was the birthday celebration?
Oh, it was perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
It's sort of ongoing because there's supposed to be horseback riding involved with rain and everything else. So it's coming Saturday. Continuation.
Well, you know, I always say that children, including myself, should celebrate your birthday the entire month, because I know for at least a month, your parents were awing over every single thing you did. Oh, the baby smile. So since a child brought you happiness for at least a month, they should celebrate their birth
I
month.
tell you what, it was fun.
Oh, that's good.
We also. Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
But isn't it great to get your nails and toes done?
I haven't got mine done, but I was like, I saw some of this, I was like, that's a massage. That's not, that's, it's like, they were sitting there for like 30 minutes. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I want to do that.
You should do it. And I'm telling you, if you go to a good one, the first time I went, they said, we're not, anybody who goes above the knee, there's something else going on. So it's the massage for it's supposed to be only below the knee. But when they're massaging the calf muscle, oh my gosh, that feels so great. That's what I'm like, that's what I'm here for.
$18.
Yeah. So Diane, oh, that's a never ending. It's never ending. Yeah. All right, Jason Brown.
He's present, Judge.
Oh, he needs to come forward. All right, if everyone can make sure you please whisper. And who is the prosecutor on Jason Brown?
I think one of the Jasons.
All right, you want to talk to them first before approaching the court?
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right, so what's going on with Jason Brown?
Yeah, we were set for a PSI today. I had sent the court an email last week.
All right, could everyone please whisper?
We had witnesses that weren't available to be here today, so I sent you and Norman an email
Okay.
asking for 2 weeks. I'm sitting here on April the 3rd and then Brandon Guzman on April the 4th. I want to see if we could do his PSI on April 3rd so I can have all my witnesses here.
All right, so are your witnesses out of town? or-
Yes.
All right, so are they able to do it by Zoom?
One can't do it by Zoom. He's a professional boxer. Two of the people that are going to testify are his coaches. I may be able to get one on by Zoom, but I haven't coordinated anything in advance. One person I know, all my other witnesses are going to be in person.
Okay, so state, if the court resets this for April 3rd, are you going to have any objections to any of his witnesses being by Zoom?
No, Judge.
All right. And state, are you anticipating on having witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right. So the state is going to be fine with you having your witnesses by Zoom. So April 3rd will be the last time I allow for this case to be reset.
Perfect. That's all I need.
All right, is that,
Judge, I had three cases with Mr. Brown as well, but with TIC into this situation, but I just wanted to make an appearance so you knew that I was present.
okay, so here's the great thing. This day is starting off great. Everybody is in their suit. Mr. Brown, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Brown, if we can recall this for April 3rd, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It'll be at, how many witnesses do you have? Okay, 4 witnesses. Let's put it at 11.
That's fine.
So the defendant needs to be here at 11 or at 9?
He needs to be here at 11.
David Robinson? Not, aquí no hay. Jessica.
All right, could I see the parties on Austin Young?
Judge, I've confirmed the state provisionally.
All right. So, where is Mr. Young? All right, does somebody want to explain to me what has happened in this case? Because I see where I had ordered that he was to go to safety. So why isn't he in safety?
You wouldn't say, I already went.
Oh, you went to safety? Okay. Oh my gosh, you've lost weight.
Yes.
So what have you been doing for your weight loss?
I was just working out like crazy.
Okay,
Eating healthy, eating a bunch of fish and rice.
okay. Oh, wow. I'm like,
I obviously am not being efficient, Judge.
so why is he going into inpatient with this facility? What's going on in his life?
Okay, so just there's the aftercare portion of safety. So we finished the inpatient part, went to the aftercare. And it's, I think it's 30 to 90 days. I'm sorry, 60 to 90 days. So he got through about 31 days and they exited him for being in possession of chewing tobacco.
Mhm.
Apparently at the home, they can't have coffee, they can't have tobacco, they can't do those things. When they leave to look for a home, for a job, those sorts of things, they can have those things outside the home, but not when they come back in. So they exited him for being in possession of chewing tobacco.
Okay, so they did this one time. There was no follow-up saying you can't have chewing tobacco in the home?
I think it was twice, Judge. But once again, it was a situation where he had bought it when he was out and just kind of brought it back with him. And so that's the extent to which he was in violation of the state of the halfway house.
All right, so any other violations, probation other than the tobacco?
No, Your Honor.
I'm back if that's over this time.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What I was gonna say, Judge, is he was very abruptly exited. We didn't want to get in trouble. We thought going home, just straight home was a bad idea. So we got him into a sober living home last week. I would have approached, but obviously the court wasn't in last week. And so we're asking the court kind of for guidance right now. We're happy to have him stay at that sober living home. We're happy to do whatever else the court wants us to do. We just didn't want him to get in trouble for the exit from the halfway house.
Okay,
Your Honor, may I?
yes.
And just want to point out that he was to exit the safety aftercare at the beginning of next month.
Okay,
He was just about complete there.
all right. So what I've discovered is when people, are in their sobriety, sometimes they pick up another addiction. And usually it's tobacco products or whatever. So are you still using tobacco products?
No, man, I'm not.
Okay,
I've
that's,
been very good about it since I've been out.
all
Been working through my workout. I'm gonna start intensive outpatient. It's required that we do intensive outpatient being at the separate living house. I'm gonna start that this week. I gotta do 4 meetings a week. I gotta do 3 meetings a week for my aftercare and 1 class for my probation and just ready to continue my sobriety.
all right. So how long are you going to be at this facility?
At least a year.
Okay,
And my parents to stay here for at least a year. I don't have any time to leave it soon. It might be longer.
okay. All right, well, I'm glad you're staying on top of your sobriety. You can't let things sneak up on you. And I'm glad that your attorney immediately had you placed in another center because that makes it easier for me to make my decisions, okay? Thank you, Mr. Martinez. All right, State, do you have any objections to him being at this other facility?
No, Judge.
All right, then probation, I'll let him be at the other facility. And probation, once he's released from that facility, he says in a year. And let me see how long you're on for probation.
It will be around a year, Your Honor,
Oh, so he has around
year left.
a year left. So that's a good thing. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court? All right. Thank you.
Your Honor, may
Probation.
I?
Yes.
Due to the exit from the safety aftercare, the probation department may possibly want to send an MTR. With your permission, I would like to request that the officer hold off on hold the MTR back.
Yes.
Since we've given permission, and we will all turn them in for this new facility.
Yes.
For a year. or-
Yes. Since he's going to be there for a year, let's just alternate a minute for him to be at the year at the facility. And if something happens with that, Mr. Martinez, just let the court know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have really changed since I last saw you, Mr. Young. It appears that you're accepting responsibility, which is key. All right. Well, thank you so much. Probation will go over your new conditions with you. And Mr. Martinez, of course, if the motion to revoke comes towards my way, I have a mind like a steel trap. And so, yeah, and so I will know, but I'll let both the defense and state know if I receive one.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day. And somebody get his workout regimen to help other people. Maybe he can help the 187th win that competition, or have we already lost it?
My mom is super.
All right, Derek Hernandez. Oops, let me just find you on the docket. All right. Hello. Good morning. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Today is your plea deadline date. So what is happening with the plea?
Judge, today we gave the prosecution a pretty significant mitigation packet for them to review. We're just asking time to review that and reach out to the victim.
All right. So state, how long is it going to take you to do that?
We can talk to her a week or two, Your Honor. Shouldn't take long.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Derek Hernandez, I need a 2-week reset for a plea deadline date extension.
I can do the 10th.
All right, we'll be back on April 10th. At that time, you need to let me know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. And state, today I need an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Deshandra McAfee.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Great. I'm refreshed. I'm back from visiting mom. All is well. So
Everything going okay in
Yeah.
Shreveport?
yes. Well, we have bad weather there, bad weather here. So.
Yeah.
But at least it was raining here. So they tell me that, and my neighbors were watering my grass within the rules, of course. This was the first state I came to where there were water restrictions. I'm like,
It is pretty remarkable sometimes, I have to say.
mhm.
Yeah.
So what is happening? Oh, and thanks for dressing appropriately for court. I usually don't say that to the ladies because the ladies always dress appropriately. So, but thank you for dressing appropriately for court. So we were here, your plea deadline date and a jury trial was scheduled for March 14. Of course, we were in a murder trial, so we couldn't do her trial. So this still on.
We're
Correct.
ready. Yeah.
All right. And is this criminal trial division?
It's family violence.
Okay. Okay, let me find her on the docket. Ah, there you are. Oh, you were late this morning. Why were you late? Usually you're not.
It was horrible traffic and then there was a line all the way to the street.
Okay,
I encountered both of those myself, so.
okay. Well, your client has never been late before. So I understand.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I believe this week is criminal trial division, is that correct? All right. So we won't set you this week, but it'll be the following week. Is that good for you?
I would like to stay on this week, quite frankly, so I kind of had planned on this case. Part of it, Judge, is my client is got a job offer that is in limbo because of this case and stuff, and so obviously this lawyer will get better. It sounds like the state's not ready at this time, so.
Your Honor, I'm just taking over this case, so I haven't had a chance to reach out to the complainant on this case. To determine if they want to proceed forward. We did previously make an offer. But at this time we would be answering no.
All right, so you all haven't had no contact with the complainant?
Not at this.
Have you all ever had a contact with the complainant?
Take 1 second.
Sure.
I don't believe they have, and I've provided notes to them about the complainant not wanting to cooperate and also changing the story.
Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're recalling this tomorrow.
Okay. Can you hear?
And Ms. Ferguson, can you mute us, please? All right. And Norma, on Isaiah Verju, what is wrong with defense counsel? Okay. All right, Isaiah Verju.
I'm sorry. Call it another day.
All right, Mr. Burju. Your case is being recalled for tomorrow. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Is that enough time for her?
Sure, she can say, I'm not sure how to say, I didn't talk to her, I just talked to her.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, if you could call defense counsel and ask her. Just have a seat and we'll take care of that. And what is wrong with the attorney on Hickman? All right, Deputy Laura, are you able to bring out or have Mr. Jason Hickman brought out, please? All right, thank you. And then are you already on McAfee?
They're looking at some things, Judge.
All right, thank you. Yeah, but when does she think she's gonna be better? That's not telling me. I mean, what does that mean, tomorrow?
There you go. Yes.
I guess we'll see.
And there's one for each.
Oops, sorry.
We'll go with the last one. So that's gonna be Karen's. Or So when Megan has to go, I can.
I am so sorry. It keeps dropping. All right, could I see Isaiah Verjus, please? All right, I've just spoken with your attorney. So she is asking that your case be recalled for Thursday. All right, so Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form for March 23rd, and that will be the last day for your plea deadline date. You understand? All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Mr. Verjus, she'll give you your reset form, so don't leave without it. All right, Jason Hickman. If you'll come down, sir. Good morning, Mr. Hickman. All right, so your attorney says he's ill. We're going to recall you for tomorrow to see where your attorney is. All right. But just 1 second, let me look at your cases. All right, so what we'll do is we'll recall you for tomorrow and see if your attorney is feeling any better, okay? All right, do you have any questions about anything? All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. And state on Mr. Hickman. I know there were issues in regards to that case, because if you could check on those and make sure that everything's to go with that.
And Judge, we have checked on it. We are still talking to his defense counsel. He actually emailed me on Friday and I can email him back right now.
Okay, all right, thank you. Who's here on Lindsay Pierce? Yes. And let me see where she is on the docket.
Page 13, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're so awesome.
I-
That's just, that made my Monday easier.
Well, it took me a minute, so I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, so last time we were here, well, on March 9th, there was some issue with regards to statements made. All right, so have statements been made or something? That's what I have here for
There
March
were
9th.
a couple of statements that both victims had made to our victim advocate, and I gave Mr. Todd a copy of those notes.
All right, so you have those. So where are we on this case?
I think we received our offer at the last setting, Your Honor,
Okay,
and we're taking these statements into consideration and considering the offer at this point.
all right, do you have all the discovery?
We have all the discovery that the state has uploaded. We are going to put in an additional discovery request of some things that were not uploaded, but I do believe should have been present.
Oh, what is that?
I believe there are body cams. And there's a 911 call, and I should have had a list, Your Honor. I don't have it at this moment. They are pieces of evidence that are typically in a case. So in this case, they said there were two 911 calls, and we only have one. I don't think the state has it, but I do believe that it. And in the sense of having it, I don't think that Ms. Mitchell has it, but I do believe that a 911 call is in the possession of the state. So.
All right, so you need to have your list as to what you're saying that should be there, that's not there.
We will file that, if not today, by tomorrow.
All right, I'm gonna recall this case back for tomorrow. You need to have your list of what discovery is, alleged not to be there.
Okay, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset date for tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May we be excused?
After you get the reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, that's for discovery on Ms. Pierce for tomorrow. Are we ready on McAfee? And where is Mr. Coontz?
He just stepped out presenting with chambers.
Oh. Okay.
You want me to go grab it?
Yes, if you could. Thank you so much. Okay. He said he's going to go grab him. Everybody's being so helpful today. This makes the day so much easier. And Brittany Rubin, this is on your side of the aisle.
I'll keep looking. Judge.
Oh, no problem. We can text him. Who's here on Ernesto Ayala? Ernesto Ayala?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? All right, court is calling 2017 CR 5199 State of Texas versus Ernesto Ayala. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz and Kappa State, Your Honor.
Defense?
Alma Benavides.
And are you Ernesto Ayala?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ayala, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with the attorney? Did you understand it?
This one's correct.
Are you the same Ernesto Ayala who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 5199 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram on September 18, 2017 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
We are proceeding with the revocation today on or about the 6th day of December 2022 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Ernesto Ayala, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court supervision officer and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
Your Honor, at this time, we'll waive the remainder of the violations alleged in the motion to remove adjudication.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court would find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is. The defendant has agreed to 7 months state jail. That is your agreement, Your Honor, and we're asking the court to give him credit for all of his back time.
All right. Are you asking? Y'all are very loud over there. Court report, everyone, here's the thing. I try to make everybody's job as easy as possible within reason. To make the court reporter's job easier, if everybody will whisper, because she has to take down that everything that everyone's saying, and it makes her job difficult when people are talking. What I've discovered is when we're not on the record, everybody is very quiet. You could hear a cricket. But when we're on the record, everybody talks louder. So if everybody could just keep it at a lower level to make her job easy on this Monday. All right, Mr. Ayala, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Ayala, if you could raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ernesto Ayala.
All right, Mr. Ayala, I'm not the person who placed you on probation. The previous judge did. Is there a reason why you have not been successful on this probation? I see you have the tattoos with the praying hands and the family on it.
I also have a letter for you, Judge. I don't know if it's fine.
Oh, any objection?
No objection. No objection.
Oh, I will. Do you want to read it? Or you want me to read it? Is this the letter that's different from what y'all agreed to?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's okay. Let me read it then. All right, thank you. So what's his criminal history? Have you been to, we're starting with music. Have you been to prison before?
I have not, Your Honor.
What's your criminal history?
The only charge is the only one I have in my criminal history.
State, is this the only criminal history he has?
Your Honor, what I can see that is correct, Your Honor. He does not have any prior felony convictions from what I can tell.
So do you have any felony convictions ever?
No, ma'am. Speeding tickets and my name on it.
All right. Did he go to ISF? Because I see, and state, thanks for looking it up. I see where he was requested to go to ISF. Did he do that?
Judge, I believe what we did complete was
Oh, yes, ma'am. I did.
intensive outpatient.
Was it outpatient or inpatient? Because,
Outpatient, I did do
okay, ISF is usually,
it.
yes.
No, we did intensive outpatient.
Oh, yeah, that was the classes that I was doing.
Okay. So how long has he been in custody?
Your Honor, I believe he's got 141 days credit.
So he has 141 days on this possession less than a gram case?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the information given to me this morning.
And that's just for the motion to revoke.
I'm not sure, Judge. I thought that was the total.
Okay. Do you have any children?
No children.
Okay. Who do you live with?
I live by myself with my girlfriend.
Does your girlfriend have children?
No.
All right, I can do one or two things. I can extend you. But if I extend you and if you don't do well on your probation and you come back before me, the state, who knows, they may not be offering the time. And honestly, whatever time the state offers you, this agreement that you come up with, motions to revoke, the court does not have to follow those agreements. This is a contract you have with the court. It's not a contract that you have with your attorney or with probation. Do you understand? Probation, do you want to weigh in on whether or not the court should extend him and continue him?
Your Honor, the probation's recommendation was to extend 14 months and impose the status condition followed by aftercare and the ISP supervision upon release.
Right.
And for him to complete a cognitive behavioral class.
Right. So I can extend you, but if I extend you, do we need to do a new tap or no?
Yes.
All right. So you would do your TAP evaluation in custody, and how old are you?
I'm 23 now.
All right, so you're 23 years old. And I know with regards to 23-year-olds, they think, oh gosh, I just want to hurry up and be done with things. Let me move on. Let me go to prison, do my time and be done with it. But this is me talking to you and telling you that there are issues with your life and you make your life more difficult when you have a felony conviction on your record. Your life is difficult when you have a deferred adjudication on your record. When I first started practicing as a defense attorney, deferred adjudications were great. Employers didn't ask about a deferred adjudication. Now they do, because now they know. So your life is already a little bit difficult because you have this on your background. But if you end up having a felony conviction on your background, it's going to be even worse for you. And with felony convictions, that means that you can't vote and you have to re-register and you can't vote until you're off paper, right? So that'll be out there. That's another issue. There's an issue with serving on juries. There's all these other issues that come into play when you have a felony convictions. If you decide you want to go to college, there's an issue with getting finances for college, school loans. There are all these issues that come with that. And it also comes with maybe renting an apartment. So it's completely up to you. If you want to, I'll follow this agreement you have with the state for your 7 months. You get whatever credit that you serve, you get that. That's an easy route. If you want to be extended, I will extend you. They're going to do a TAP evaluation because there's an issue with you when you don't answer hotlines and you keep missing tests. That means that you're probably using, and you need to, the praying hands that you have, you need to really look deep inside yourself, because outwardly people can do praying hands. They can be like, I found Jesus, whatever they done, they can say that. But at the end of the day, if you're not honest with yourself about what your problems are, there's nothing I can do to help you. There's nothing probation can do to help you. Then that means you're wasting my time, wasting probation's time, and you're taking up a slot that somebody else could have. So if you want to, I will extend you. They'll do a TAP evaluation, but either way, you're going into somebody's inpatient treatment, because what's your drug of choice? And don't just tell me marijuana. Be honest with yourself. It's more than marijuana, because we're here for possession less than a gram.
Oh, I mean, do I have a right to say what I have to say about?
Oh, say what you want to. No, I'm not. Here's.
I'm always really just selling it, get some money on. I don't do none of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously you're doing something, because you're not doing the UAs that the court is requesting. So if you want to take the easy route, people say it's the easy route, but in the long run, it's not. I'll give you conviction. You'll go off to the state jail facility. They're not going to release you from the Bexar County Jail. They will still process you through the state jail facility. Who knows what can happen, but that's how it will happen. And then when you get out, you'll have a felony conviction, and you're going to find your life very difficult, more than it is so now. It's completely up to you, but you're 23. So you can be extended. They're going to do a TAP evaluation while you're in custody. We'll see if ISF will take you, or either either SATA or either felony drug court if they have room. It's completely up to you. But this is a decision that's going to impact the rest of your life. If you want a chance to speak with your attorney, you're more than welcome to do that. In your letter, you said you wanted to be extended, so it's completely up to you.
I'll go ahead and stay with what a group, what we agreed on.
All right, so you want the felony conviction. Don't say that the court didn't try to help you. All right, so the court will grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 7 months in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. And let me see, was there any restitution for drug testing on this? Let me check. No, there was not. All right. And there's $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
This one.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes. All right, McAfee.
I stepped down the hallway. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. The attorney went in search of you. We sent out a search party.
I was down in your old courtroom, actually. So.
Okay. All right. So on this case, there's jury downstairs. We can bring the jury up now. State.
Your Honor, we would have to file a continuance if the jury were to come now. Your Honor, we would ask for just a day to talk to our chief as to the policy. The defendant has custody of our victim.
All right. If you guys want to file your motion for continuance today.
Okay.
And the court will make a ruling on it today.
I will object to it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to accept an oral motion for continuance?
Well, I mean, it's up to the court whether it's
But
accepted.
no, if you want to accept an oral motion for continuance, we'll have a hearing on it now.
Sure.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 7892, State of Texas versus Deshandre McAfee. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
for the
It
defense.
is for Ms. McAfee.
And are you Ms. McAfee?
Yes, Deshaun.
All right, state, are you ready to proceed with trial?
Your Honor, we are not ready at this time. We are requesting a brief continuance, Your Honor. It is the understanding of the state that the defendant has custody of the victim in this case. And because of the facts of the case, we would need that victim's testimony in order to proceed to trial. So we would ask for a brief continuance to speak to the child either through another avenue or by, well, to speak to the child, perhaps at school or some other avenue.
Your Honor, this case is approximately 27 months old, and the state has had plenty of time to effectuate any communications that they needed to with regard to witnesses or the complainant. I will let the court know that with regard to the complainant, he has told me on the telephone that the story that he told the police was very different than what was reported. On top of that, Judge, with regard to the child, who's a teenager, let's be very clear, he was, I think, 14 at the time of this offense. CPS did an investigation and took no action against her in terms of taking the children away or having a safety plan or anything like that. So here we are approximately 27 months later and the state is not ready. So obviously we would object to any continuance being granted.
All right, so before the court makes a ruling on this, let's go off the record for a moment. Who's here on Lemon Wardell or Wardell Lemon?
Present, Your Honor. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm a little tired of the there.
Hello. All right, Mr. Lemon, thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
You're welcome.
All right, so you all are scheduled for jury trial.
That is correct.
So
Your Honor.
we'll start with jury selection on tomorrow.
Your Honor, I have filed a continuance. I am in trial in the 290th District Court. We began a trial on Tuesday of last week. We are still going. I'm expecting from the number of witnesses the state still has left that we will probably be going through Tuesday or Wednesday in that case.
All right, what are you guys trying over there?
It's a sexual assault, 4 counts.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson. We're going to go on the record, but Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a date? And do I have your motion for continuance?
You filed it on Friday, Your Honor. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the court's file.
State, do you have the motion for continuance on, I'm sorry, not state. Caroline, do you have the motion for continuance? All right, thank you. And we'll hear your motion for continuance. And Ms. Ferguson, can you put this on the following week for criminal trial to be, for family violence? And what week will that, what date would that be? What, April 20th?
March. The next week.
Yes, we're already on March 20th. Today is March 20th. All right. Thank you. We're going to go on the record, 2020 CR 7353, State of Texas versus Wardell Lemon. Can our parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herr for the state.
For the
Whole
defense.
medals for Mr. Lemon.
Are you Mr. Lemon? All right, the defense has filed a motion for continuance. They're in jury trial in 290th. Can't be 2 places at the same time. Any objections, state?
Objection none.
All right. So I'll grant your motion for continuance, and we're going to come back on the 28th for your jury trial. I'll
Yes, Your
just
Honor.
get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. Is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any issues with any discovery?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So you. Yes, I can approach the judge.
Who's here? Luis Puente?
Ready.
Good morning. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 0996, State of Texas versus Luis Puente Jr. That parties announced for the record for the state.
Jason Garrett had your honor.
Defense.
Marty Alvarado, your honor.
And are you Luis Puente Jr.? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Luis Puente Jr. who's placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0996 for the offense of unlawful possession of firearm by felon on January 25th, 2022 for a term of 6 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 2, on or about the 8th day of December 2022 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Stuart Fuente Jr., did then and there admit to illegally using a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining conditions.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Puente, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 3 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. It is to continue the individual on his probation with the minute conditions for Sabbath and aftercare.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Puente, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Puente, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. All right, Mr. Puente, I'm looking, and for both the state and the defense, I'm looking at the prior rulings that the case has made. I'm sorry, the court has made on different issues involving Mr. Puente. Does anyone know if he's going to be able to successfully complete this? Because the last thing I had was that Mr. Puente had a caregiver. Does he, Mr. Puente, do you still have your caregiver?
Yeah.
All right.
That would be his uncle, who lives at on Tedder Street. I've been in contact with him 2 or 3 times, and he's got a room for Mr. Puente to stay in. He's going to try to see if he can help him get a job, because he is a mechanic. He's a trained mechanic. He's been having trouble finding a position to do his skill, and his uncle, Mr. Puente, was abandoned by his birth mother when he was a young man, and he was raised by primarily his father and his grandparents. They've all died. And so now his uncle has taken him in, and his uncle is very concerned about him and wants him to stay with him. We'll give him all the support he needs.
All right. So how are we addressing probation? Is there any addressing of any type of mental health issues, or is there just a cognitive issue with Mr. Puente? Because the last time, well, from April of 2021, it says that there was a competency evaluation that was done, and he was deemed to be competent. So I'm wondering, what type of caregiver is it? If it's someone because of cognitive issues, or is someone because of mental health issues?
You know, Your Honor, I mean, my lay opinion is that I don't know that you can necessarily divorce the two of them. I think he's depressed, which I think is, and that's my own lay opinion. And I think that a lot of people are situationally depressed when they're living in poverty, when they don't have a job. And sometimes the only thing you turn to make yourself feel a little better for a few minutes is a drug. And so I was telling him, if the court does deem him worthy and eligible for SATA, to get counseling, to talk about all these issues, because he told me, I said, well, let me reach out to your mom to talk to her. And he didn't want me to, and I didn't really know what was going on. And that's when his uncle called me and said, well, why would she want to help him now? She walked out on when he was a kid. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I speak too fast, obviously. But that's what I would like him to get at the court. Any cognitive help, any mental health assessment. I think we could all benefit from talking to somebody, and I would ask for that on Mr. Puente's behalf.
All right, Mr. Puente, have you ever been diagnosed with mental health issues?
They interviewed me.
All right, but I mean, not from someone, court intervention. I mean, when you were, people always say in the free world, but when you were on your own, did you ever see a psychiatrist or anything of that nature? Okay. Probation?
We don't have any indication that a mental health evaluation has been conducted. I do have a TAP evaluation on file. And at that point, The recommendation was for supportive outpatient treatment.
So are we gonna need a new TAP evaluation?
That's happy value. Hold on, wait,
And your honor, I did, I think he dropped out was in the 11th grade. And he's indicated to me there's no history of him having any mental health treatment. And there was no history in school, like, were you in any special education classes or anything? He said no, but he did drop out.
Okay.
There were two happy evaluations. The earlier one had supported outpatient treatment. The new one that was just conducted a couple of weeks ago indicates status.
Okay. All right. This is what the court will do, Mr. Puente. The court is about finding violation of condition number 2 true. I'm going to order a MIC evaluation while in custody and follow TAP recommendations in your agreement for SATA. And I don't know, is felony drug court still full?
They are. I just received emails last week that they were accepting a couple of people.
All right, so we can do a referral to felony drug court just to see if they'll accept him. If they don't accept him, then we'll do SATA. Felony drug court, if they accept you, it's a good program and they'll be able to help with any type of mental health issues. Because with them, it's sort of like one-stop shopping. They help you with everything globally. But if there's no room, then it's going to be SATA. Is there anything else you need from the court? Do you have questions about anything? Any concerns? Okay. All right, and let me see. I don't think you need to be extended. No, you do not. All right, good luck to you.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I said if he dropped out. No, right. Okay.
All right. Who's on Desmond Fletcher?
Oh, that would be me, Your Honor.
Yes, what is the issue with Mr. Fletcher?
So we are, he was revoked about 2 weeks ago and sentenced to 3 years to ECJ. It was brought to my attention from Mr. Fletcher that he did 251 days in Galveston County. That was the number one that he was violated on. I simply wanted to approach the court, and I have the record of it right here, in my hands. If the court would be willing to do time and money to run concurrent handling for Mr. Fletcher's charge out of Galveston County.
So was he in custody while this case was open?
I believe it was, Your Honor.
All right, if you can verify that, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to send it to court admin.
Okay.
Because it's going to involve, since this is already going to imaging, it's going to involve a non-proton being done.
Okay. I've never done one of those before, but
Oh, no, you don't have to do it,
okay.
but they'll need to know that time.
Okay, so just court admin is where.
Yes.
All right. Will do.
All right, and Miss Caroline Gamboa, if you could give the email to that he's going to give you, if you can send an email to Miss Gamboa, if you can forward that to me, and I'll forward it to Barbara.
Very much appreciated, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Steve Terrazas. All right, let me see what page he is on.
The very last one, Judge.
I'm sorry.
The very last one.
Oh, awesome. You all are being extremely helpful today. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Steve Terrazas, why were you late?
I was
I'm sorry, what? Okay. You can't be late in this court. All right, where are we on discovery?
And I believe discovery is complete at this point.
And Judge, it's actually my first day at GLMA, and so the attorney who's in charge, I was actually sick with COVID, and so.
Who's the attorney?
Sir Daly Morris.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Mr. Steve Terrazas. If we're going to recall this for discovery since the attorney is ill.
2 weeks or what?
Yes. All right, so we're gonna come back on April 3rd. And that attorney will make sure that discovery is here. Don't be late, okay? All right, we'll see you on April 3rd. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thank you. Roseanne Garcia. Who's the attorney? All right, okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can get Mr. Sternberg back, please. Okay, they're still out on that one. Joseph Harris. Who's the attorney on Joseph Harris? All right, well, Mr. Harris, just have a seat. We'll wait for your attorney. Robert Hintnick. All right, so I have this here for discovery. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, so what's happening with discovery?
Judge, so it was the blood discovery order. We did receive it back in February.
Mhm.
There was a notice of additional discovery that was uploaded by our paralegal. When I looked in the file today, it wasn't there. I asked her what happened. She said that she couldn't upload it to e-discovery, so she put it back in the file. But it's not there. So I have emailed DPS asking if we can get another copy of it because it was already previously prepared.
So what is it, locked somewhere upstairs?
Judge, I went back up to look in our office. I went to look in the other files that were around this one. As far as I can tell, we don't know where it's at.
All right, so any word on DPS?
No, not yet, Judge. I maybe emailed them about 15 minutes ago. Once we found it, we couldn't find it.
All right, so just wait a moment. We're gonna see if DPS can give us an update today.
Okay.
All right,
Can I have just one other discovery issue, Judge?
yes.
Just so the court's aware, the other thing we have going on is the blood retesting in this case.
Mhm.
And so, just so the court has, knows what's going on, Mr. Escobar was real helpful in getting me in touch with the detective at the property room. But the hiccup with him, with that detective is that, he's basically saying, okay, yeah, great, you come and get it. And I mean, I can't go get it. I mean, I need him to send it to the lab or bring it to the lab or something like that. And he's under the impression, he's like, oh no, we have attorneys pick up stuff all the time. And I'm thinking, I think that'd be a terrible idea. So that's why that's a little different, but the order's clear. And the order says he needs to tender it to the lab. So I'm gonna try to take another run at him. but-
All right, state.
Judge, we had connected the defense with the property room. My understanding was that they were supposed to go get it. I don't know what's happening here. This is the first, really, this morning that I've heard about this issue.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do then. We're recalling this for Thursday. On Thursday, everything needs to be done as far as discovery needs to be handed over to the defense. So state if you have copies of it, bring it down. If it needs to be put on a drive, let's have it put on drive. So March 23rd is the last day we'll have discovery issues. And then if you all can perhaps get with whoever the person is who has this evidence for defense counsel and make sure that issue is worked out.
Okay, Judge.
All right,
March 23rd, Judge.
yes. Ms. Ferguson, on Hintnick is coming back on March 23rd for discovery.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mark Anthony Rocha.
We're ready, good.
What are we here for in this case?
It's an informal inquiry, Judge. There was a VR file and there was no MTR ultimately filed, but I think you probably called them in.
Okay. Ah. Yes. All right, they want to do ISF with him. All right, state, are you, I'm sorry, probation, are you requesting ISF? Because they're saying there are issues with you with alcohol issues. But then I have in the notation from probation that they said that the new misdemeanor case he has, they were going to allow misdemeanor court to handle that.
Yes, Judge, and being that it's a pending case, I advised Mr. Rocha not to talk about it, but we did talk, and I have a synopsis for the court that I can give to you if you're interested.
Okay, yes.
I'm not sure if he still is, but at the time he was living in a men's home. He came in from work late, went to McDonald's, and his cell phone went off, which is a violation of their rules. It can't be on at a certain hour. The bunk mate or dorm mate that is an employee / resident took issue with that. They got into a verbal altercation. He was asked to leave, but he is insulin dependent diabetic and he did not have access to his medications if he left immediately. So,
All right, just one moment. Probation, if you can come up and everyone please whisper.
Your Honor, based on the court summary, they are asking for Bear County ISF. He has completed the bid, the TAP, IOP. He has fees and community service hours remaining. We don't have a current urinalysis on file for him.
All right, Mr. Rocha, if you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
It's probably gonna be positive because I did drink that glass and a half of wine with my field.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You know you're on probation. How old are you? All right, you're 52. You know you're not supposed to be drinking alcohol. And why are you drinking alcohol when you have insulin issues as well?
I was trying to get some sleep and I got this boil and pain. I did do that, so I realized that, you know, it's not that bad.
Everyone, please whisper. So your issue for your sleep issues is, oh, wow, let me mix my insulin with alcohol. Nothing can go wrong with this. And it's clear that you have an alcohol problem. And why are you homeless? What's going on?
Became homeless from COVID. I couldn't get back to working at this. I did take care of his mother. She got COVID. And my dad, he's got dementia. So he could. So I had to get out of the COVID kit right after that. So I did that with finances and balance. And we ended up being split up. So we go back here.
All right.
Joe, I guess, I was told that, I was like,
If I may, Judge, we had this very discussion in the back, Your Honor. I advise Mr. Roach to be honest with the court. I feel like honesty is the best policy in this situation. We also discussed that his probation to date has included no form of treatment at all to include outpatient treatment. So I think he'd be very willing to try some form of treatment, but I do think that ISF is a escalation of his terms and conditions of probation without trying other things first, Judge, as far as the modality of treatment goes.
Okay. And I'm not the one who placed him on probation, and the judge placed him on probation. Yes.
It does appear that he did complete intensive outpatient treatment.
Whether that was geared towards alcohol or not, Judge.
All right. And I see it was Judge Harlow placed him on probation. All right. This is, are you still at Haven for Hope?
No, I was told I could come back to the courthouse. We'll be back in trouble.
All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 533, State of Texas versus Mark Anthony Rocha. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Bill Brooks for Mr. Roach, Judge.
All right. And state?
Brittany Mitchell for this.
All right, thank you. And the court received a violation report. Defense, have you had a chance to review the violation report?
I did review the allegations with him, Judge.
All right. So we've had a discussion off the record. Mr. Rocha is testing positive for alcohol, which is a no-no. You're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation at all. It doesn't matter if you're at your house or wherever you may be. Probation, is there anything you wish to add?
Your Honor, he's been compliant and completing his classes, intensive outpatient treatment previously. There are several negative test results on file for him. However, there are also several failure to submit.
And how often is he being asked to submit?
At this point, the last indication he was asked was in February 15, 2023.
All right. And Mr. Rocha, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, off the record, you told the court that you would be positive for alcohol today. All right. Is there anything else you're doing other than alcohol?
Looking for jobs, trying to work as hard as I can.
No. I mean, drug issues.
No.
All right, so do not come back to the court because you're using CBD oil or any other products. You understand? So you're not allowed to drink alcohol on probation. You understand? And you understand with the fact that you're taking insulin, that's not a good mixture for you anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do, because we have to address your positive UA. We have to address the fact that you failed to submit UAs. You must submit to UAs in this court. You understand? So I'm going to order 90 meetings in 90 days. And how often did you say you were testing him or he was being tested?
Typically, at this point, Your Honor, it should be monthly. The last requested date was February 15.
You're going to do UAs weekly for 2 months. And we'll see how that goes. Do not miss. If you miss, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Part of me giving you 2 months weekly, part of it is a punishment because you haven't been testing. The other part of it is I'm trying to help you with your alcohol issues. You understand? And do we have we have the TAP evaluation you said that was done in 2 weeks? I mean, that was done 2 weeks ago or so? Yeah, you said, I think you said 2 weeks.
A new tap needs to be done, Your Honor.
Okay, so we need to do a new tap. All right, I'm gonna order a tap evaluation. And if the tap evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, we're gonna start with intensive outpatient treatment. And also do a referral to felony drug court. I know it is offenses, but you all still go on a case-by-case basis.
Yes, Judge.
So we'll do a referral to felony drug court. He is not to be employed as a home healthcare provider or anything with minors. And I'm going to want, you say you're staying at a bunkhouse? Probation, I'm gonna want field visits. One time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Roach, is there anything else you need from the court?
Judge, he is not back in bunkhouse. Is that the name of it? Yes. He is not back in bunkhouse and he's getting paid for it for. Yeah, I forget.
All right, so you need to provide the information to probation where you're going to be staying, and that needs to be done no later. Probation, he's going to provide you information where he's staying, and that needs to be done no later than March 23rd. All right, is there anything else you need from the court? Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, thank you, Mr. Rocha. You need to do better.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you, counsel. Yes. Okay, all right, let me find out where the defense counsel is. As soon as they put it up here, we'll go. Okay, I'll Ms. Ferguson call them and we'll go.
Tiny update on it.
Yeah. Is the attorney here on Francisco Reyes? Oh, that was- All right, what is happening with Francisco Reyes?
Your Honor, we're still in need of the restitution amount in order to meet the felony level. And I believe the state's made a few attempts, and because of the trial that they were in on the 6th and the 9th, they've been unable to make contact again. So I think the state's promising that if we don't hear by Friday, the 24th, they'll be dismissing the case.
Yeah, Judge, so we've made a few attempts. The victim has been responsive. She's returned calls, but she's had to leave voicemail. So we haven't actually spoken with her. We've just essentially been playing phone tag for a while. So I reached out to my advocate this morning and asked her to let the victim know that if we didn't have the confirmation of the restitution amount by this Friday, we would have to dismiss the case for one of evidence.
All right, so what we'll do is, I know we don't have cases on Friday because we're usually in jury trial. But any objections to just setting this on Friday, so I'll know what's going on with it?
It doesn't matter to us, Judge, or if you want to recall it for Monday. I was trying to give her till the end of the day on Friday.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you want to recall it for next Monday, that would work.
All right, defense, any objections to this being recalled for March 27th?
I don't have any objections, Your Honor. Is there any possible way that my client could be excused for that setting, since it's just a follow-up?
All right, are you employed? All right, he'll need to be by Zoom.
Okay, that would work.
All right,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Ferguson, so we're bringing back Mr. Reyes on March 27th. Defendant can be by Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
She'll give you a reset form. Rudolph Montoya. All right, who's the prosecutor on Montoya? All right. So do you have all your discovery?
We do, Judge. We're ready.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can you give me a date for Montoya? That is for jury trial. It's criminal trial. I'm sorry, it's family violence. How many days?
A week, Your Honor.
Are there videos?
There are, Judge.
How long are the videos?
Total. Maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
All right.
There's multiple ones. There's PD, there's no CAC because a detective did it instead of the
All
CAC.
right. So factoring that in, 4 days, Ms. Ferguson. I can do. I'm sorry, what?
May 23rd.
Defense, May 23rd.
We're available then, Your Honor.
All right, jury trial is May 23rd. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thanks for dressing appropriately for trial. You always do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
23rd, Judge.
Yes. And then you're excused.
Say again, Judge.
I said, then you're excused after you sign that.
My approach is, thank you, Coleman. Our name was called yonder, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, I know. Joseph Harris. Who's the state on Joseph Harris? Is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, that's Mr. Garahan on the ground.
All right. And Mr. Cox, you're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong side.
Oh. Well. Thank you.
Sure.
Actually, Judge, I feel on the right side.
All right, so what's happening with this case?
Your Honor, I just talked to Mr. Cox and we have made an offer today. Other than that, that's where we're at.
All right, has all the discovery been tendered?
Yeah, I believe so, Your Honor.
I believe so, Judge.
An offer was made today, correct?
That's right.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset for plea deadline date on Mr. Harris. All right, we're going to come back on April 3rd. That will be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After April 3rd, the court will not consider any plea bargaining agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. You understand? All right. And thank you for dressing so appropriately. You even have the pocket square in. I don't know, the defense and state, you guys are falling down. Where's your pocket square?
Lost mine.
All right.
So
Thank you.
4 weeks, Judge?
April 3rd.
2 weeks or 4 weeks?
Oh, April 3rd. Yeah. My mom's birth month, so it'll be April 3rd. Yeah. Andy Maldonado Rivera. All right, where are we on the cell phone extraction?
Your Honor, I've been discussing with Mr. Kettner, there's apparently some more ethical disclosures that I need to look into on the detective. I discovered today that apparently their RVPD did confirm that there was a dump on the defendant's cell phone. However, no one has a copy of it. And it's related to this detective that is no longer with the force.
So there is no.
There is no copy. We do have the defendant's cell phone in custody, so we could, we have the ability to do another search warrant and get another dump, but As far as I don't know what is done, there is no record of it.
So when is that going to be done?
I can order it, or I can ask them to have it done this week. It's my understanding that there's no task order or anything like that. If you can straight down.
And Judge, and the other thing that the Brittany was telling me is the detective, there really are probably a pretty fair amount of ethical disclosures coming within the next 2-3 weeks, maybe something like that. The paperwork is in on that side, and so what we were talking about, if is that maybe we should have a capital trial date in about a month. Is that okay with the court?
What do you mean a capital trial?
Oh, like a drop dead, like we're give us our 4 days and all that.
Oh, no. How much? My question is, how long is this going to take to get defense counsel these ethical disclosures?
So there are a couple cases that there's some sealed cases, Your Honor, that I need to look through, and we have them in our custody. It should be more than a couple weeks.
So how long would this take?
I think probably 2 or 3 weeks for me to get.
All right. And with regards to the cell phone extraction, how long is that going to take?
It should be quick if we can get the search warrant. I believe it can probably be done in another 2 to 3 weeks, same timeline.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset date on Maldonado for discovery? I will give you all 1 month. And if it's not done by that date, on that date, people need to subpoena whoever they need to subpoena, and we can discover why the discovery isn't here. All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
I can do April 17th.
Sounds good to us, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a seat.
Roseanne Garcia. Where's the attorney? All right. Just have a seat. Corbin Patswan.
Ready on.
All right, who's the state for the state?
Here, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 8265, State of Texas versus Corbin Patswa. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Rodriguez for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Leandro Rena.
And are you Corbin Patswa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge, and I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Patswa, showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, the state moves to proceed on count 1 of the indictment, specifically the lesser included offense of an attempted, making this a class A misdemeanor.
No
Any
objection.
objection? Mr. Patswa, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
Your
you
Honor.
understand them? And did you sign them in all the appropriate places? Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted to publish or threaten to publish intimate visual material as a class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, court doesn't have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw the plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application of deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Potswa, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 1. They're proceeding on the lesser included offense of attempted publication of intimate visual material. Fine is assessed at $1,000. State recommends deferred adjudication. They want an apology letter to complaining witness. You to permanently delete any and all intimate photos of complaining witness on all devices. With regards to the apology letter, is this word content? How many words? Or is it just going to be, I apologize, period?
I have conferred, the state has conferred with opposing counsel prior to today's setting. Opposing counsel has provided me a copy of an apology letter as well as an affidavit averring that all items, all photos of complainant witness have been deleted from his devices. The state has examined those letters provided by defense counsel and is satisfied with those letters provided. The state can turn those over to probation at the appropriate time.
All right. Did you understand that to be the plea, Mr. Potswan?
Yes, sir.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is the state's understanding, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is asking that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be 200 hours of community service, restitution, and no contact with the complainant other than this apology letter. After that, there's to be no contact. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand those are recommendations by the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers an evidence, State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments pending any objections.
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Potswan, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Nothing, Judge.
All right. How old are you, Mr. Potswan?
19, man.
And how old is the complainant?
Same age as me, I believe.
All right. Did you ever love her?
I did at one point
Yeah. So why would you try to hurt somebody that you previously loved?
because it was a long story, one involving many friends of mine that she went behind my back during the time trying to hook up with each and every one of them. And I felt hurt, betrayed, and I didn't know what to think at the time. And I was very immature with my actions.
Well, no, I mean, maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship if you can't handle.
And I haven't been since.
Well, maybe that's a good thing because you're probably not ready. So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. Have you ever used drugs in the past?
Wow, yes, ma'am.
What?
Marijuana.
When's the last time you used marijuana? And you're going to get drug tested today. So,
High school.
okay. What are you doing with your life now?
Right now, I'm trying to get a job at Chick-fil-A. I have a job at a Italian restaurant, Paisanos. I left that because the management wasn't as what I thought it was, so.
What do you mean the management wasn't at what you thought it was?
They they had a very unique way of telling us how to do stuff and how our jobs were supposed to be, because I was only a busser. So they expected a lot more of me than what I was originally assigned for the task to do.
All right, because if you're trying to touch Paisano's special salad, it's already perfect. There isn't anything you should be doing to that. So who are you living with?
My grandma.
So your grandmother's supporting you. Why are you not living with your parents?
My dad is currently, he signed away his rights at birth, and then
Okay.
my mom is at UPS trying to get a house currently.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. You're going to do a UA today, probation. He's going to need a UA today. And you say that UA is going to be negative.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, 2 years deferred adjudication and probation. Let me know the results of that UA. There's going to be $1,000 fine probated. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, apology letter to the complainant. You're to delete, although photos are never really deleted once they've been stored somewhere. Delete any and all photos of images of the complaining witness on all devices. There's to be no contact with the complainant outside of this letter. 200 hours community service restitution, 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination with booster. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it, but if you've had it, then 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining hours will be waived if you provide proof of some type of certificate from a trade school, or if you're full-time in college. And for this court, full-time in college is at a minimum 8 hours per semester. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. If he is positive today, I'm going to want the UA hotline until further notice. If he's negative, then there's to be regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. If there are no issues, then probation, you can do field visits as you feel is required. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you sign the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? And did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're 19 years old. When we're off the record, you're 19 years old. When you're in a relationship and it ends, I mean, that's a person that you haven't even known a majority of your life. When somebody breaks up with you, and if they're trying to date your friends, guess what? Move on, consider it. Ooh, I was lucky, didn't get married, didn't have children with this person, instead of, doing what you did. You understand? That's yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can I be excused? That's all I had.
Yes. Yes. All right, Coleman, Lee. Yes. All right, just give me a second. All right, I thought Mr. Lee was going to be by Zoom.
We didn't get the Zoom information, so.
All right, whenever I say that they're going to be by Zoom, counsel, you can come and he doesn't have to appear and we'll give you the Zoom link here if need be.
Okay.
All right, so medical records, where are we?
So Judge, we received some medical records and we're trying to figure out. It looks like she may have gone to the hospital twice and we received the second date. We're trying to figure out whether there are records from the day after the offense date, which is what the defense is interested in. So I'm actually drafting an email right now to my investigator to try to clarify whether he confirmed that that was the only hospital visit that the victim had made. It's possible that this hospital, the one that we have the medical records for now, only saw her on this date, and another hospital saw her for the day after the incident. We're just trying to confirm whether those records exist.
All right, counsel, do you know if those records exist for another date?
I do not know. I asked counsel. I don't think counsel was even aware that the medical records that they presented to me was for like a year and 6 months after the incident.
Okay.
And the police report, she stated that she went to go get medical record, she got medical treatment the day after. But she reported to the police officer that proves her case. So it's at the same clinic. I don't know why they didn't ask for those medicals on the day of the alleged incident.
So does the complainant have her own medical records?
She's.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing, you may want the attorneys to talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right, counsel.
Judge, we talked with her before about getting them. So far, she has not sent them to us. She said that she did receive the treatment. We just don't know if she's actually got the records herself. I think the last communication we had said that she was going to look for them and we didn't get a further update.
All right.
My biggest issue with this case, Judge, is I guess twofold. Number one, my client's been here since the past 2 years. He's trying to get into the military, doesn't have a criminal record. This is holding him up from that. This is a case where they said they have no physical evidence.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're recalling this for tomorrow. So say everything needs to be here tomorrow. Sorry.
Records?
Yeah, that's where we are. And are you ready for trial for tomorrow? All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form for tomorrow, and you need to be here tomorrow at 9. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. All right, Norma, they up for trial tomorrow in Coleman. Hi, yes, thank you. And then could I see the file on? Yes. Do I have that file?
Yes.
All right, so what date are you asking for?
The next available date, please, Your Honor, 6th June.
All right, and who's the prosecutor?
Uh,
All right, do you have any issue with this being recalled for trial for June 6th? Defense counsel is saying that his witness is not available.
That's fine.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. Thank you. Good seeing you.
Oh, yeah.
And who are the people on a coaster? Are they ready yet? Gabriel Inosa. Yes. Okay, yes. Have they done their paperwork? All right, what is happening? This is being recalled for jury trial. Where are we?
Judge, I believe we have an agreement that once Mr. Hinojosa pleads on his misdemeanors, the felony case will be dismissed.
When is that happening?
Hopefully tomorrow. I'm gonna have him brought down to 1.5 right now to hopefully get a PR bond from Judge Huff. Because the DA's office in their infinite wisdom decided to file an at-large UCW case.
All right, well, I mean, you're looking at Miss Mitchell, but I don't think she's the person who did that because that's a
He's a
misdemeanor.
representative of the state, right?
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
I am a representative of the state. We'll take that one.
She
All
didn't
right.
do it.
So you're saying that the plea should be done by tomorrow?
Hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm waiting for Booker to text me back on a date.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll recall this for the 23rd.
Okay.
All right, Norma, on Enosa is going to be recalled for March 23rd. All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. McCrum.
Good morning, Judge. This is set for a plea, but I'd like a breakout room with Mr. Chrisman first, please.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1,
Thank you. Thank you.
and I'll send your client to number 1 as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Roseanne Garcia. Is the attorney here for Roseanne Garcia?
Oh, is that Mr. Stinger? Yes. He's at the waiting area. Is it for me to call him?
Okay, yeah, we're ready for him.
Give me 1 second. Mr. Stinger?
William McGuffey. All right, what's happening on this case?
On Mr. McGuffey's case, Judge, we came to an agreement with the states. My client is going to plea on the misdemeanor, and these 2 cases will be dismissed. I've checked, it's County Court 8. Judge Roman is not there. They're all via Zoom. Coordinator for the family violence is not there either. I've gotten their number. I'm also not the attorney of record on the misdemeanor case, but notes have been put into the system. He has a court date on April 18th. He would love to get that sooner. But he's gonna need to get in touch with the public defender's office who's representing him on that case to see if it can be done this week, next week, something like that to get it
Who's
knocked
the
out.
attorney with the public defender's office?
I do not know.
It was Rebecca Brett, but she moved law offices, so she's passing it over to somebody else.
All right, we're going to recall this case for March 23rd. So I'm sure if you talk to Judge Roman and talk to.
Yeah, I have the coordinator's number. I'm gonna try to, even if it's not me handling it, I'll make sure it gets set sooner. He's got an ankle monitor. He wants this done sooner rather than later.
All right, so we're going to see you back here on March 23rd.
Hopefully not, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, McAfee, recall for March 23rd. And don't be late again, you understand?
Yes, ma'am. The reason why was because the direction is gonna be. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Richard Ruiz. Okay, thank you. Devin Magallanes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
The state and I have agreed for the bond piece.
All right, so first, oh, I'm sorry, counsel behind the line. Thank you for approaching though. All right, so counsel, before I rule on this, I'm gonna need your client, is your client in custody?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so, Norma, I need Devin Magallanes placed on the docket for tomorrow. Because he was, the reason why there's a remain without bond is because he was a no-show. So I need to figure out from him why that happened, and we need to have a conversation so it won't happen again.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Just let Ms. Ferguson know. Caroline, can you let Norma know that this is being recalled for tomorrow? Christopher Medina? Yes.
Christopher McGinn was arrested a few days ago for violation of protective order. He was
Or I'm sorry, for what?
violation of protective order.
Yes.
Apparently, pre-trial condition was set some time ago. He was on probation for this court. I was speaking with him, he notified me that apparently he wasn't supposed to be at that address. It was an apartment complex. He was there with a friend, had nothing to do with the person that he has a no contact order with. He's followed that diligently. He's done everything you asked in his probation, but apparently there was this protective order.
Have you conferred with the state?
I was going to, but it looks like they're pretty tied up, but I can go ahead and.
Yes. All right, and if you want to have your client come in tomorrow and we'll address it.
He's in custody.
Oh, just have Ms. Ferguson put it on the docket for tomorrow. Von Skirvin.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
If you'd like. Pursuant to our last conversation.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, put it on. I'm up here sweating in the road. All right, Mr. Skirvin. What is
Can we
happening?
catch up? So
There's some DNA analysis.
we have received hard copies of that this morning from, as we were jokingly referred to as from the representative of the state.
Okay.
And I think we have all of our discovery. There is one item that they're going to check onto. There was a child safe interview that I don't think really fits into the parameters of a real child safe interview, so to speak. It was from a witness perspective, and based on Brittany's review, we might be filing a motion asking with protective order for a copy. We do have access to it, but other than that, I believe we are.
So you have access to the child safe interview.
They gave us notice additional, but we're probably going to ask the court to give us, allow us to get a copy that we can use in our office.
That's not going to be allowed. I mean.
Well, it's not a traditional child safe interview. They did the interview at child safe, but she was a potential witness. She's not the victim of anything.
Is she an adult?
No.
I told Mr. Norton I would check the code, because it does specify the purposes of it as well. So I'll check that, and if it does not meet that, then it's something we could probably do, but if it does, then obviously we cannot provide that copy.
All right, and state, were you prepared to make an offer in this case?
Okay, we do need some time to speak to the.
All right, how much time are you asking?
30 days.
All right. So Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset on Skirvin, please?
April 17th.
No, I'd rather do it before April 17th. I know that's less than 30 days. We can either do it April 24th or either we can do it April 13th.
Either date's fine. No.
I'm sorry, what are the two dates?
Either April 13th or April 24th.
Can I have just a moment?
Or if y'all want a visiting judge to hear this. Because I will be with my mom for her birthday.
Oh, April 13th is.
Actually, either day, the 24th is better. It has fewer settings, but
Well,
either day.
whatever works for both of y'all, but I know Vince, the last time you were here, you said you were going to determine whether or not you needed an expert for something. So I don't know.
Well, that, we just got the DNA aspects of it, so.
So it may be best to come back on the 24th.
Yes.
All right. Norma, it's going to be April 24th. I know we're having a short week that week because it's Fiesta, so I'm trying not to interfere with attorney's Fiesta plans.
Well, we actually usually go out of town that week.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
good time to leave.
It always is a great time, and usually my mom's birthday just fell on the other week instead of that week, because usually I'm never here for Fiesta. All right, we'll see you on April 24th. Ms. First, we'll give you a reset form. You Tombasi Equiri. All right, so we've had so many issues with this case as far as discovery. First, there's the issue of whether or not he's a citizen.
Oh, no, Judge, not.
Yeah, I mean, that was from August. Defendant states he is a citizen, so I wrote that down because there was some issue. I don't know why. Because you Tombasi Equiri, right? That's what's on the court's notation. Then there was some sort of cell phone extraction.
Correct, Judge.
Then there was recording footage at the apartment.
Which I have now, Judge.
All right. Then an offer was due on February 2nd, and we came back on February 2nd, and it was to be recalled for the week of March 13th, but we were in jury trial. So where are we on discovery?
Discovery, we're good, Judge. I think there's some interview notes with the complaining witness that I expect we'll probably get by today, Judge. Outside of that, we're good. And we got an offer this morning, Judge. It is the first offer. If the court would allow, we'd like to be able to consider that. It's a tough decision for us, Judge. So if the court is so inclined, we're essentially ready to try the case, but would like to consider the ins and outs of that offer.
All right, is 3 weeks enough time to make a decision on the offer? All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a 3-week reset date on the query for a plea deadline date.
And Judge, just to kind of elaborate, there were notes I did meet with the complainant. There were notes that I took on a legal pad. I was planning on scanning those and uploading those to e-discovery. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Okay, all right, no problem.
I trust they'll do that.
Yeah.
No issue.
All right, so we'll be back on April 6th, and that will be your plea deadline date. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good one. All right, and where is the attorney on Danny Acosta? Ms. Ferguson, if you can call John Kuntz back. Who's here? Oh, they're still not here. Okay. That's fine. You speak Spanish, correct?
I do, Your Honor.
Here you are. Thank you.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Mr. Coots? We're waiting on, Nathan Martinez and Mr. Danny Acosta.
Yes, Judge, on Nathan, I was just talking to Mr. Garrahan about it and Ruben, I'm sorry, I don't know Ruben's last name, I apologize. We're working towards a resolution on Nathan. I think if I can sit and talk to Ruben just
Okay.
for a minute later, and then
Okay.
we'll get to Danny in a second, if that's okay.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm in the process right now. And Caroline?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm signing the paperwork on Crispin.
Okay.
And Bashan, I'm waiting for that to pop up in my email. Yes. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pasqua, for being honest with the court. Will someone call? Please say no.
No.
Okay, and Norma, can you call Mr. Stenberg? I know you probably have already reached out to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm sorry, what?
Thank you. Sorry.
Who are the parties on Wendy Rathbarn?
Good morning, Ron.
Good morning. Court is going to call 2021 CR 7768, State of Texas versus Wendy Gray Rothbard. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of state.
Defense.
Eric Hernandez for the defendant, Wendy Bradford.
And are you Miss Rathbard? Rathbard. Okay, thank you. Mr. Coates, are you able to, Deputy, can you? No. You can just move him down to that end.
And Judge Daniel Escobar for the state substitute again.
Right. Counsel, you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Rathburn, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're proceeding on count 1 and waiving count 2.
Any objection?
None whatsoever.
Ms. Rathburn, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with harassment of a public servant as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do believe so, Your
Do
Honor.
you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes to both.
Ms. Rathburn, has any get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state recommends community supervision, and they're asking for a mental health evaluation. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
State overstates that the one and all happens.
No objections.
Ms. Rathburn, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, sign it in all the appropriate places.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there would be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
She was, Your Honor, and if I just need to the court about the fine in her residence.
All right, well, the fine, the court will probate that. So with regards to residents, what's,
Ms. Rathburn is currently living in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where she was picked up on this form and extracted back to Bexar County. So we'd be asking if she'd be allowed to report to probation from Nevada, or that her probation be transferred to Nevada.
all right, what county is that?
Clark.
Clark County.
Okay. Who are you living with there?
My boyfriend and I,
Who's this boyfriend?
we've been together 3 years. And Ralph, we don't.
Okay.
And
Do you
I
have
just-
any children?
I have 2 children, 1 22 and 1 11.
Where's the 11-year-old?
I'm not divorced yet, living with my husband in San Antonio.
Okay, so the 11-year-old is in San Antonio with your husband.
Right. But we've been legally separated for quite some time.
Okay. Yes.
And Your Honor, I did speak to Mr. William, her paramour this morning. He did confirm the address.
All right, I always find that people on the civil side always call them paramours. Is that just something we like to say?
That's the preferred term, I think, in family court, when there's somebody who's living with a
Yes.
partner but still married.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, they use it for everything. I never see boyfriend. It's always paramour. It doesn't have a nice ring to it, I always thought. But that's just me. So, are you employed?
No, man, I live off disability.
All right, what's your disability for?
Mental illness.
All right, so are you seeing someone in Las Vegas for your mental health issues?
Yes, ma'am. I have a primary care position, but I'm on the waiting list to get into behavioral. But since I've been in jail, I've been back on my Prozac and it's helping a lot.
All right, so how's she going to get to Las Vegas?
I believe Mr. Wiggum is currently here because he was inquiring about when she would be released.
All right, where is Mr. Wiggum?
He's at his grandma's house. But
Oh, so he's not in the courtroom.
no, he's not.
Okay. Probation, what are we gonna do about this transfer? How long will that take?
By permission for her to leave with her the travel permit. In the meantime. I
Huh?
cannot answer specifically how long it would take for the transfer. Since they have to, the receiving state has to approve it.
All right, I'll give her permission to travel to Las Vegas. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what the court is gonna do. The court is finding you guilty. Court will give you permission to travel to Las Vegas. While in Las Vegas, there's to be weekly reporting to probation by Zoom until transferred. And I'm gonna request a transfer to Las Vegas. The only reason why I'm letting you transfer there, based upon what your attorney is telling me, it appears that you're receiving treatment there and you're stabilized there. It's to be continued. Who is your caregiver out there?
I don't have.
What's your doctor? Well, what's the doctor's name?
Oh, DB Omar, it's the primary care physician. And I was getting transferred to mental health solutions.
All right,
So I
so
can prove all that, once I'm back home. I just don't have any of this stuff here.
there's to be continued treatment with the primary care physician. I want a MIC evaluation that can be done out of custody. And you're to provide probation with documentation of your the person who's providing you mental health treatment.
Okay.
And in Nevada. Off the record for a moment. Caroline, I'm sending you the signed documents on Mr. Chrisman.
Okay.
And Mr. Chrisman, I'm gonna put you back in a breakout room so that, Caroline, do you prefer to do it through a breakout room or do you?
Yeah, I can go in the back.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 2, Mr. Chrisman, and they'll go over your paperwork with you. Back on the record. So we're gonna do a MIC evaluation out of custody. I want a TAP evaluation also out of custody. And there is a $1,500 fine prorated. Sentence you to 2 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. 120 hours of community service restitution. Proof of SSI or employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And what is your boyfriend's name?
Raphael Wiggum.
All right, and Raphael Wiggum. Probation, if she's having visitation with her 11-year-old, he cannot be listed as a chaperone for that. And 40 hours of the community service hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring it, but if you do, then 40 of those hours will be waived. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you sign a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Rathburn, nobody likes to be spit on. So I know you were probably having a mental health episode, but that just cannot be done, okay? All right, you need to continue to follow through with your medical appointments, all right?
Yes, ma'am. And I did get the second COVID shot.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Who's here on David Zavala? All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 1345, State of Texas versus David Zavala. Can I have parties announced for the record, please?
David Cruz, on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Ronald Fenari for Mr. Zavala.
And are you Mr. David Zavala? You're gonna need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Zavala, I'm showing you what's entitled application for probation. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on count 1 and waiving counts 2 and 3.
Any
Thank you, Your Honor.
objection? Mr. Zavala, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what your, the count that state that is proceeding on is a possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams as a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Zavala, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or forced you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 1. Punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. And there's restitution to the Bexar County lab for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There are not, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There'll be a top evaluation and 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation? Then to count 1 in an indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
State, any evidence?
At this time, the state introduces state's exhibit number 1 and all of its exceptions.
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Zavala, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Just one moment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just regarding the fine, Your Honor, he's been in custody for almost 4 months.
It will be probated.
Thank you. Nothing else then, Judge.
All right, Mr. Zavala, who is this person to you? Roxanne,
My wife.
your wife? Do you all have any children?
Yes, one child,
I'm sorry,
one child,
4 children?
One.
One. What is the age?
like two,
What's the child's date of birth?
I do not know,
All right. Do you have any other children other than the 2-year-old?
no, like,
Where's the child?
with her cousin. She got temporary custody,
Through Child Protective Services?
yeah.
All right. How often are you using drugs?
Not at the moment.
No, you haven't been using, hopefully, because you're at the Bear County Jail. I know people can make alcohol and whatever at the jail. But when you were in the free world, how often were you using drugs?
Once a week,
I'm sorry?
once a week.
All right. And so were you using heroin and meth? Because I've read the police reports. All right. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. How far did you go in school?
12th grade.
Did you graduate?
No, I was at the process of graduating, but I got locked up for 20.
I was gonna
ask you What's this? What's with the tattoo on your neck, the essay? Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Nathan Martinez, I just need to see what his bond amounts are. He tells me he has one that's already.
It's not because you love San Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
It's something else, right?
Well, I know how to draw. And I drew my own work.
No. That essay stands for something else other than the love of San Antonio. I know, you know. All right. So you're gonna remain in custody. He's gonna remain in custody till the TAP evaluation is done. Probation, he needs inpatient treatment. I think we all recognize that, hopefully. So I want the TAP evaluation done and he's going to safety. So it's gonna be 3 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, TAP evaluation, follow recommendations.
Got a probation officer available and stuff like that, so I don't know if she's gonna try to.
So follow recommendations. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's to be no contact with minors. I'm sure Child Protective Services is involved. CPS compliance if applicable. I'm gonna want a gang evaluation. That's in custody. And Bashan, I'm also gonna want a MIC evaluation. I don't know if the heroin and meth use has affected, I'm sure it has impacted his brain, but just to check on that. And that's gonna be while in custody. There's to be no contact with Roxanne Martinez, AKA Roxanne Luna. Once you're in sobriety, and if she's in sobriety, maybe I'll allow you to have contact, but for now, that shouldn't be. I'm going to, once he's released, I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days. As I previously stated, Safe P, field visits. And I know that the gang supervision will be doing their field visits, but I'll say 2 times per month. And if the gang supervision wants to use the field visits, that's reporting, they can. There'll be regular reporting. UA hotline until further notice. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 150 hours of community service restitution, and I'm not waiving any of it. You're gonna have to do that because that will keep your mind off of using. I'm gonna want parenting classes. And with parenting classes, let it be compadre y compadre. If they don't have any room, then triple P. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
Oh, man.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Here's the thing, you need to always be honest with the court. Because in this courtroom, communication is key. Communication is key to successful probation completion, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, up next, after we do Mr. Chrisman, because I want to get him done, let me close all rooms, Mr. McCrum, so your client can come out of the breakout room. And then after that, we're going to take up Roseanne Garcia and Richard Ruiz. Please remain. We'll take you next.
Judge, really quickly, on this case with Mr. Crum, I did send out the subject moment via email.
Yes.
Don't think Mr. Crum signed it.
Oh, Mr. McCrum, did you sign the discovery acknowledgement? We can put it on the record.
It's more because I thought he was gonna be.
I did sign it.
Oh, he signed it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and then we'll take up Mr. Chrisman.
I'm just waiting for the court certificate and the application.
Okay. All right, I have it. And I'll send it to you. All right, if you want to give that to me now, and then when you get that in. All right, and he's pleading to one case?
Yes, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 4262, State of Texas versus Sean Chrisman. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Scott McCrum for Mr. Chrisman.
And are you Mr. Chrisman?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections to us proceeding by video, state,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Chrisman, did you review a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, both.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Mr. Chrisman, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, and I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Chrisman, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chrisman, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments of defendants, waivers, and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 40 grams to 200, 4 grams to 400 grams as a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Chrisman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's an $800 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 2022 CR 4261. And there's $57 restitution for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, I do.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No, no.
State, any evidence?
State offers state exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
Mr. Christman, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there would be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding any guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, were your clients in the hospital? What is he in the hospital for?
Oh, actually, yes, and that's related to his medical condition is regarding the community service hours, Judge. If you could consider at some point, if he could provide a medical waiver or at least a deferment for him to start on those until some future date. He is in right now. They are reviewing him and he's being put on a list, I believe, for a liver transplant. And the staff there is helping him with that. So other than that, generally, I can't give you specifics of the condition, but that's what I've gleaned from talking to the staff there.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say, Mr. Crispin?
No, ma'am.
All right, liver transplant and drugs do not go.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, do you have any children?
I have one,
Age?
13,
And where is the 13-year-old?
in California with his grandparents.
All right, so is that the child with this other person who was in this case as well, or no?
No.
All right, who is Julia to you?
Julian
Yes, who is that to you?
is my brother.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. 10 years deferred adjudication, $800 fine. Oh, you may have a seat, counsel. The court is going to do 10 years deferred adjudication, $800 fine probated, 150 hours community service restitution. That will be waived if you provide medical documentation, proof of employment within 120 days. Again, probation, if he can provide medical documentation that he's not able to work, then let the court know. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom. Are you, Mr. Crispin, are you going to stay in the hospital until you receive the transplant?
It's totally up to the medical staff here. I'm not sure.
All right. You're to report your probation by Zoom upon release from the hospital. So probation, to make it easier on you all, counsel, excuse me, sir. Probation, to make it easy on you all, what I'll do is he's to do his first reporting by Zoom once he's released from the hospital.
Typically, Your Honor, for the orientation, it'll be via Zoom, and then we can make the.
Yes, if you can make sure that that's done so he won't get penalized. There'll be regular UAs.
I didn't hear what she said, Judge. Did that go to his reporting?
No, what will end up happening is they'll do orientation by Zoom.
Mhm.
So, Mr. McCrum, you're going to have to get in touch with probation to make sure that you can make this happen with him being in hospital. Then he doesn't have to report again by Zoom until he's released from the hospital.
Okay, thank you.
So you understand, Mr. Crispin?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's to be regular UAs. And I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court. I know they're not going to accept him while he's in the hospital, but I want that done. TAP evaluation upon release from hospital. When you're released from the hospital, who are you going to be staying with?
Right now, currently just myself. And then I either have to sign a new lease agreement, or I was hoping to find something on a first level, because since I'm on oxygen all the time, it's hard to go up, or more difficult to go upstairs on a second and third floor. So I wanted to move to something that was first floor.
All right. Take in consideration 2022 CR 4261. The defendant is to provide proof of residency upon release from the hospital. If felony drug court doesn't accept him, then I'm going to want intensive outpatient treatment through probation. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes, let's do field visits once per month. And that's until he's able to start in his programs. Mr. Crispin, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Crispin, good luck to you. I hope everything works out for you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room so probation can give you instructions, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then after she finishes speaking with you, you're excused from the breakout room. And Mr. McCrum, if you would like to, I'm going to move you all to breakout room number 3. And Mr. McCrum, if you would go to number 3, please, with Mr. Crispin. And
Thank you.
probation will speak to you there.
All righty.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Martinez? Yes. And then after that, we're going to take up Miss Garcia and your other case, Mr. Stenberg. All right, what's happening with Nathan?
Judge, at this time, we don't have an agreement with regard to a resolution on the cases. My client has asked me to ask the court to set a bond on one of his 4 cases. I'm sorry. He has bonds on his 3 family violence cases, but his bondsman had gone off for his felon in possession case. And we're asking that that a bond be set. It was originally $10,000. And so we request that you set it at that same amount. It doesn't appear that there were violations with regard to the court, just that his bondsman went off the bond.
All right, that is correct. State, any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And then, so your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
State, how long are you expecting the jury trial to last?
Family violence cases, Judge, possibly 3 days.
All right, and I'm assuming you're proceeding on the family violence cases first. All right, Ms. Ferguson, they tell me 3 days jury trial. And it's family violence.
I can do May 23rd.
I'm sorry, when?
May 23rd.
All right, your jury trial date is May 23rd.
And did you set the bond back at 10, Judge? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay. All right.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Kuntz, I only have that on one case.
I'm sorry, Judge.
That bond issue, I only have it on one case. Is that correct?
That's correct. The other 3 bonds are existing.
All right. Okay. Can I see the parties on Roseanne Garcia? Court is calling 2022 CR 8756, State of Texas versus Roseanne Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Joe Stenberg representing Roseanne Garcia.
Are you Miss Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on January 24th of no contest. That judge found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, she's a hardworking gal and she'll get out, get a job and be productive.
All right, they're asking that she be referred for DDRF placement.
For what?
DDRF. Which suggests there's some mental health issues. So, Ms. Garcia, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Are you receiving any type of medications at the jail?
Just like my son at night.
And if you were released, who would you be staying with?
With my daughter,
And how old is your daughter?
she's 19,
I'm sorry, what?
19,
And how old are you?
47.
So do you have employment prospects
Yes, I do.
and doing what?
In photography. And also I have other customer service skills as well.
Photography? Okay, I don't think that's a staple.
But I do have customer service too.
All right, so I'm gonna order that you get a job when you're released. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, does your daughter have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
One. Just one. And he's 1 year old.
All right, I'm not gonna let you live with your daughter. What's your daughter's name?
Danny, Marie Garcia.
Yeah.
Danny. A-N-I.
All right, you can't live with your daughter. So where are you gonna be living?
I'll go to your pro.
All right. Because it's obvious that you have this possession less than a gram case, so you have drug issues. Drug issues plus mental health issues do not equal you living with your daughter. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And state, unless you have any witnesses or any, yeah, you can have a seat. Thank you. All right, anything else you wish to say, Mr. Stenberg?
Well, what is CDRL?
I'm sorry, where are you looking for?
I
You mean
think
DDRF?
CDRF.
No, D. ABC DRF. It's the duly diagnosed residential facility. And they want her evaluated for that because of some issues she may have. And probation, this is Miss Roseanne Garcia.
Okay.
So I'm gonna require that.
No problem.
That's gonna happen while you're in custody, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the court is gonna follow your agreement. Court is gonna sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 666050, the theft course, 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to have the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. What I can tell you is, I know you don't have any underage children, but if you want to supervise or have contact, well, not supervise, if you want to have contact with the 1-year-old, I'm going to require you to have parenting classes.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you don't want to do the parenting classes, then you can never have contact with that 1-year-old while you're on deferred adjudication out of this court.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
which do you prefer?
I'll do parenting classes.
All right, so there's going to be parenting classes, and that the court will waive the remaining of the community service hours. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors. I want the DDRF evaluation while in custody. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The defendant is not allowed to reside with her daughter, who's Danny Garcia, or in any households with minor children. There's to be no contact with minors without permission from the court. $90 meetings in 90 days. And outpatient treatment with probation. And probation, if you can also do a referral to felony drug court. Field visits once per month. Probation, is there anything else you need? Just supportive. We'll start with that.
I apologize, but I mean. Wait.
Oh, no, you did not miss it. Thanks for bringing that up. So there'll be regular UAs. Anything else you need from the court to be successful? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your, just go around, counsel. Don't go through that. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Garcia, make sure you are updated on everything and stay in communication with people, because everyone here is trying to help you be successful, okay? All right, thank you. Richard Ruiz.
Richard.
Come down. Court is calling 2022 CR 9440, State of Texas versus Richard Ruiz. Could our parties announce for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
Howdy, Joe Stenberg representing Richard Reed.
are you Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
Counsel, you received all the discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes,
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ruiz, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review it with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes,
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes,
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
No, I think you're proceeding on it as a state jail felony.
Yes.
My apologies, Your Honor. We are proceeding on a lesser included.
All right. Did you, any objection?
No.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ruiz, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, state is proceeding on the less included offense. Controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine, which there's no agreement to. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration County Court 5690113, and there's $57 for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There were. Sorry, what was the question?
Have there been any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement, the state is asking that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours community service restitution, and no contact with 417 Evergreen or Chris Curzon, Kurzon. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Criminal trespass. Plead guilty.
No. This case that we're here for now. How do you plea on this case?
Oh,
No.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
At this time, the state introduces state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
Any objections?
no objection.
All right, state, you may be excused to confer.
Thank you, Madam.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Decide it in all the appropriate places. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you, as an attorney to cross-examine? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Voluntarily waiving consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty, and the court will find the defendant guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we waive the PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, and he apologizes to the court, the community. He just wants to get back to work.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, why are you at this location and the person has told you they no longer want you there?
I was actually working on this house in mind, but we were in the process of selling the house where I lived at. So I was staying there, he didn't stay there.
Well, when you say so at somebody else's house and they want you to leave, you need to leave.
Right.
So where are you going to be living?
Hey, I'm not at 515 East Evergreen. The house that is being sold.
Well, how are you going to live at a house that's being sold?
No, it's my mother's house.
All right, so are
My maintenance next door. I was paying over there because it was in the process. My aunt had power of attorney, so I had
how old are you?
60
All right, who's at this house that you're going to be staying at?
myself and
How old is your son?
33.
All right, do they want you there?
My son's fine, they're fine. It's just my aunt's in the process of selling the house.
So it doesn't sound like that's going to be stable. So if that house is sold,
If anything, I talked to the people from the scanner show that they would know me. Same.
Same.
okay. All right, it's probably best that you look into that sooner rather than later. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so how long, when's the last time you had employment?
I'm working. I wasn't employed for a community.
That
All right.
was the reason he missed his last court appearance.
Well, no, I mean, he missed his court appearance on November. He was a no-show. And we waited for him to 1:05 p.m. Then on March 2nd, he was a no-show and we waited for him to 3:05 p.m.
I was in the wrong, I was in the wrong court. I was here, but I was in the wrong. court.
Until 3 p.m. You're in the wrong court.
I didn't know I had, because I was sitting to go to court.
No, but what you're telling the court, which is an unbelievable story, is you were in the wrong court
They rescheduled the court date.
till 3 p.m.
No, they rescheduled for another day.
That was the November case. He was in the wrong court.
Until 1:05 p.m. Okay. All right. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And as previously stated, 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 2 years. $500 fine, probated. No employment with a home healthcare, as a home healthcare provider with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. There's to be no contact with 417 Evergreen or Chris Perzone. And you're gonna have to find another place to live.
I haven't been here in.
No, what I'm saying is you're gonna have to find another place to live than at your mother's place on Evergreen. Because this person doesn't want to see you, okay? So there's to be no housing, no residence on Evergreen probation. How often are you using drugs and what are you using?
I don't drink, I don't, the only thing I need for cigarettes.
Well, you're here for a possession less than a grand case.
Yes. At the time I did use it.
All right, so at the time when you were using, how often were you using?
When I had it, whenever I felt like it. I'm not a big time drug user.
Well, one time is a big time usually. All right, sober meetings, 90 meetings in 90 days.
What type of meeting?
Sober meetings, AANA. There's to be a TAP evaluation. And that can be out of custody and probation. Whatever the TAP evaluation says, it'll be supportive outpatient. I'm gonna want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, you can count those field visits as visitation if you want to. 100 hours of community service restitution, 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Once per month, and that can be, and that's until further notice. And probation can count that as his reporting if probation chooses. Anything else you need from the court? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I did.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, I did.
All right, we can go off the record. You're in your 60s,
Yes, ma'am.
which means you have more of your, you definitely have more of your life behind you than in front of you. So if you continue this way, it's not going to go good for you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Kilgore, is Kilgore out here?
No, Your Honor, he's downstairs.
Okay. On Mr. Kilgore, let me see. All right, state on Kilgore. Defense counsel is out ill. The motion for continuance is not in proper format. So I don't know if you all gonna have any objections.
Okay, Judge.
It's not sworn to. Yes. Okay, Norma. Mr. Kilgore, we're gonna recall it for tomorrow. Let the attorney know that the motion for continuance needs to be sworn to by law. All right, thank you. Caitlin Retton. Who's the attorney on Rutland?
I think he stepped out. He stepped out this year.
Who is the attorney? All right. All right, and everyone on Veronica Alvarez. That's gonna be reset for 2 weeks. Ms. Ferguson? I need a 2-week reset on Alvarez. And Ms. Ferguson, if you'll ask Ms. Thorne, or either I can ask Ms. Thorne if she needs more time than that. And if she wants to appear by Zoom, she's more than welcome to, if that's available. So I think Veronica Alvarez is in custody. So if you all could let her know her attorney is unavailable, and we will be back on March 30th. Michael Kilgore. Kayla Rutten. Mariah Lopez.
Thank you. What time do you want to do the contested MTR?
I thought we were doing it. I think probation's been here. Sure. How long is it going to be?
They're calling a number of witnesses.
All right. So we do need to take a lunch break. So we'll come back after lunch. All right. And then you need to be here with your person anyway.
My client's in custody.
Okay. No, I mean with McAfee.
Oh, Deshawn's in my office, Judge, so I'm gonna go meet with her.
Yes.
And then I'll come back.
All right. So we'll call you back at, who's the state on this?
Debbie.
All right. So, we'll be back then at, I'm gonna say 2-ish.
Okay.
2-ish. Because I need to see for us to be able to, everybody to be able to have a lunch break.
Okay.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 8673, State of Texas versus Mariah Lopez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
For the state.
Defense.
Anthony Cantrell for the defense.
Are you Miss Lopez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are proceeding on count three, Your Honor.
Any objection to the waiver of the other counts?
No, Your Honor.
And for the record, that's a waiver of count 1 and count 2. All right, Ms. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand in count 3, you're being charged with injury to the elderly as a 3rd-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? So that to the state. Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lopez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 3. Punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent? Did you understand that to be the entirety of your agreement? State?
Your Honor, state 6-2, admit states.
No. Is that your agreement?
I'm sorry, yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel of any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, no contact with Consuelo Franco and the BIPP program. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense is charged in count 3. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State, seeks to admit, states exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
No objections.
All right, state, if you have no witnesses, you can be excused to continue to confer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, why should I accept this plea?
Your Honor, my client's very remorseful for her actions. She regrets it. She's been incarcerated for at least 4 or 5 months now. She's had a lot of. She says almost a year, so.
All right, and
This was out of character for her. She regrets it. And so we'd ask the court to go forward with the plea agreement, because I think also probation can give her other help that she might need.
so what, is there some mental health issues here?
I don't think there's.
Your Honor, if I could, the victim.
If you announce,
This is Brittany Mitchell for the state.
yes,
The victim did indicate to her office that she has schizophrenia.
okay. Oh, well, okay, that explains some things, because I was not intending to follow this. All right, so, do you have any children? So you're not gonna be able to live at this residence or have contact with Consuelo Franco, so where would she be staying?
Well, I was gonna ask the court to, she probably won't be staying there, but she does want to have no harmful or injurious contact with her grandmother.
No, that's not gonna happen.
With the mother?
Does the mother want her living with her?
I don't know that answer.
All right, because sometimes people just throw out names that they assume that people want them living with her and they don't. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. Court is gonna sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, the BIPP course. There's to be no contact with Consuelo Franco. I want a MIC evaluation. How long will that take probation?
In custody, Your Honor?
Yes.
3 to 4 weeks.
All right, so there's gonna be MIC evaluation while in custody. Are you on any type of medications now?
Yes. Just like, thyroid medication?
All right. So,
No, not really.
all right, I want a mental health evaluation while in custody. There is going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. If Mick says she doesn't qualify, I'm gonna want a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. I'm gonna want field visits 2 times per month, and that's until the mental health issues are addressed. There's to be regular UAs, proof of employment, or SSI within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no contact with minors or the elderly. Now probation, if she's working at McDonald's or somewhere, then that contact is okay. But outside of work, there's to be no contact with elderly or minors or vulnerable people. A 150 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else she needs? If it's determined that she's going to be on the MIC caseload or either a Center for Healthcare Services provider with the case manager, then those hours can be waived. Is there anything else, probation? Is there anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes.
And probation, also, if we can do a TAP evaluation in custody. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm. Done that. Michael Kilgore. All right, Caitlin Rutland.
So Judge, we had a deal done on that. She's doing a waiver of an indictment. The state said that they still have to get the number. for
Okay.
that. So I was wondering if we could just do it tomorrow morning.
Are we gonna be here at 9 tomorrow morning? No, we'll be back here at 2:30
2:30 today, or can
today.
we do it Friday morning?
Nope, 2:30. All right. Anyone else? So the people we have coming back are his client and I think Danny Acosta. So who's in the box? That's Danny Acosta. Everyone else I think has been done. Okay.
On page 17 at the end, Clark Warren, was that handled or
17 who?
page 17, the last one, Clark Warren?
No.
And so it's just open still?
Yes, it's still open. I don't know where Mr. Simpkins is.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Sure, no
I wasn't
problem.
missing it.
All right, so we will be back at 2:30.
Judge, is there any way we could do it tomorrow at 9? I was wrong setting it at 2:90 for the witnesses to be able to wait this action.
2:30, are you in trial right now with the 290? Because they have jury trial already over there.
No, I know, but I'm number one for trial tomorrow and I have some witnesses I need to meet with, so I was.
All right, if you get your paperwork ready, the court will take